Najib Balala, Najib Balala, eh. Najib Balala, eh. Najib Balala. Rebel salute to everyone out there. This is Kenya Revolutionary, the Contrarian. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is another session. I'll only be here for like 30 minutes. I don't have much of a topic, but I'm just going through the Kenyan politics, news, latest and greatest, what's going on over here, okay? As far as news that pertains to the country, Kenya, which is located in the East African side of the continent, okay? Anyway, as you know, the big news was Najib Balala. Najib Balala was nabbed today. He was nabbed for some money he embezzled for Utalii College. But again, most Kenyans, the reaction is, we know the story. We've seen that before. Nothing will probably happen. Nothing will happen, actually. So most Kenyans are looking at it as, what's new? Hakuna kitu tafanyika. We saw Rotich. Rotich last week was walked scot-free. Didn't get prosecuted. I mean, the prosecutor brought in, didn't even bring evidence, enough evidence, so to speak. Even the magistrate who was ruling on that case said that this has to be some conspiracy or something, because you can't come here and say you don't have witnesses and witnesses don't want to talk, and you have the flimsiest of evidence presented. I mean, it was just embarrassing. And before that, Mike Sonko also went to court, and when he showed up for his case, we all know Mike Sonko is, he had a checkered past. But when Mike Sonko went to court, the DPP, the prosecutor, didn't even show up. So that just shows you how our justice system is. There's some people who are above the law. I mean, do you expect this ESCC, this DSI, whatever? They have so many organizations, whether it's the DPP, DCI, ESCC, whatever the case is. Do you really expect these guys to go after somebody like Uhuru Kenyatta or Ruto or Raila Odinga? I mean, you saw with Matiang'i when he was brought in for questioning, and of course, watu wakaanza people started throwing a fit. Oh, mtu wetu anashikwa. And Raila summoned his demonic followers to go protest at the DCI headquarters. And before you know it, after 4 hours of grilling, Matiang'i was let go. And we've never had that case follow up to this day. Matiang'i, who was summoned by the court also before that, to show up in court, to compensate Miguna for the forceful exile that they forced him and the damage they caused in his property when they broke into his house. Matiang'i refused to show up, and was never held in contempt of court, never bothered to show up in court, and never paid back Miguna. And the story just fizzled away. We've never had anything about that. So that's the kind of history we have in Kenya when it comes to the justice system. There are people who are above the law. Babu, we saw him shoot somebody on camera, and he went to court and, paid the guy off, paid for his apartment or whatever the case is, his bills or whatever. And after a while, after Babu Owino, rubbing shoulders with Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, the case was ended. They said, okay, there's no case here. While we saw what he did, that was attempted murder. Okay, so this is the kind of justice system we have. If you have money and some people in the higher ups, if somebody in the one of the elites who can actually press some buttons, make some calls, you can get away with anything you want. I mean, this goes back to even Kibaki days when the Aturu brothers came in and just did whatever they wanted, brought in drugs, and so we know we have a terrible history when it comes to justice. So don't hold your breath about this Najib Balala situation. Najib Balala will not see a day in jail. Yeah, you're happy that he's now in there. He's going to be detained. No, he's going to post bail, and I'm pretty sure he has huge money. He has a lot of money. He'll post some million. I don't know how much. I don't know what's the bail, if he has bail or not. But of course, he will pay it off and he will get out. So most Kenyans are not, you know, I won't say surprised. They're surprised that it was Najib Balala got arrested, but they are not surprised of what will be the outcome. We know the script. We've seen it before. He'll go to court, arraigned, and of course, he'll probably talk to some judges behind the curtain, and we'll never hear the case again. And after a few years, a few months, you'll hear that the case has been dismissed. There's not enough evidence. Okay? So this is what I was arguing about in another platform. And I was saying that in the case of whether it's Najib Balala or Rotich, Rotich, of course, was being brought forward because of that case in Kimwarer. And my argument was this: if public money has been spent, okay, public money left the treasury, and it is said to have been used to build a dam, okay, and you go to the site, whether it's in Kimwarer or Aror, whatever the case is, and we do not see any dam built, okay? But the money has left the treasury. It was said to be 63 billion that left the treasury. We go to Kimwarer in Masingishu district, we don't see the dam. We are told somebody was paid, okay? All right? The DCI did its investigation, whatever the case is. The DPP brought the case to be prosecuted in court. And the magistrate, in fact, it was so revealing what the magistrate said, but I will just paraphrase what he said. He said, I can't believe you brought the flimsiest evidence here in front of me. It's as if you're working to make sure this case doesn't go through, doesn't get prosecuted. Okay? That alone shows you, even from the magistrate's pronouncements, that this DPP was either incompetent or he dropped the ball willingly to let Rotich go. So in that case, I was arguing, this is my argument. Okay, the DPP dropped the ball, but the fact is there was money that left the treasury and went somewhere. Somebody had got paid. The project that was supposed to happen in Wasingishu was not done. Okay? All right. I see Mr. TV24. Let me add him in. Let's see what he has to say. How are you doing, Mr. TV24? I think your name is Mzalendo, if I'm not wrong, or it's somebody else. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Kenya Rebel, whatever that word is too long. I don't know where you got it from. I mean, it's not even in the dictionary. But those are the words that Kenyans coin to look very rebellious. But happy holidays, my good friend.
Happy holidays, Mzalendo. Thank you very much. You've been lost.
I would have loved to come on the screen live, but I'm driving. But I like the topic that you brought up, so that we have this conversation, and most importantly, we keep on doing this civic discussion that will help our people make informed decisions in the future.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is how you look at the issue of Aror Kimwarer. The issue, I also look at it as very, very political. It had a lot of political angles in it. because it came precisely when Uhuru and Ruto were having these rifts. And remember the incidents where the deputy president was stripped naked in front of his children by Uhuru's government in the
What?
name of you know Kenyans forget all these things, but the two gentlemen went through a lot of atrocities in the last days of Uhuru's regime. Yeah.
Wait a minute. He was stripped naked? Is that a true story?
Yes, Gashaga was stripped naked in front of his children.
By who?
Yes, yes, by police officers who raided his house. You remember he had a case where he was being told that he had stolen 200
Yes.
million or something like that. Yes, they raided his house. Go back to the archives and see Gashagwa's house being raided in the middle of the night by police officers. So this is how Uhuru was able to manipulate the system. And this is how the system is used by the presidency to intimidate other opponents. So I would not be surprised Ruto doing the same to people who rather intimidate his leadership. But it happened. It happened, and Gashogo has always said it. I forgave those people who stripped me naked in front of my children. I never recommended that they be sacked. They are still in service. Yeah. And you see that kind of humility. These people, Shagwa especially went, can you imagine being stripped in front of your children in the name of politics?
That is
That,
terrible.
that's, that is terrible. That is something that will traumatize you for the rest of your life. Your child has seen your manhood. So this is what they did.
Wow.
So even when you see them coming out saying about Kara or Kamaral, then you wonder who to believe, because at the end of the day, you look at the evidence that was brought before the court, and the judge looked at it critically, and the state the state prosecutor failed to produce witnesses. And you know why? Because there were no like serious charges that they could bring forward. Despite money being lost, there were no serious charges that they could bring forward. So this
is it a case of the DPP being incompetent, or the DPP? Oh, sorry, DPP is the prosecutor, I think. Whatever. Is it a case of him being incompetent, or is it a case of him try to bring a weak case so Rotich can get away with it?
No. The DPP then, like the DPP today, is an appointment of the president, of the Republic of Kenya.
Right.
So
but he has to be vetted by the.
He has to be vetted by a majority. A majority being that is the president's political party. So even if they have to be vetted, whatever the president chooses, decides as his next DPP will definitely go through in parliament, because we have a bogus parliament. This is the most useless parliament ever in the history of the Republic of Kenya. So yes, so they will definitely. Yeah, why I say that Kenya Rebel, because one, look at this parliament. The other day they were busy screaming on top of their voices that they need CDF money. Since when did you vote for your MP to line up your family members to give them checks in the name of paying for them school fees, instead of bringing a legislation for free secondary education in parliament? That is what we elected them to do. That is what I pay them to do. I don't pay them to come back with some check in the village and pay school fees, 5,000, 10,000, 2,000 shillings to needy families. And they say, we have to pay school fees in January. Parents will suffer, instead of bringing a legislation that will give free secondary education to all the families in Kenya they are busy lobbying to get the 200 plus million every year to do development.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
that's why I call it useless.
this is the discussion we had the other day. I was asking this. If the money, let's use the Kimwaror case. Now,
Mm,
Rotich got away with it. We can see that.
mhm,
So where did the money go? The money that left our treasury, and it obviously went somewhere. Somebody had to get paid, but the project, there's nothing to show for it. Okay, if you look at whether it is somewhere in Wasingishu, the project is nowhere to be seen. We can't see where the money went, but somebody was paid. Now, my question was, can the that body, I forgot the name of it, that the one that looks
mhm.
into, why can
EACC.
yes, why can they have a session in whether it's Senate or National Assembly to ask questions, bring Rotich, bring whoever was the parties involved in this whole mess, to ask them who was paid, where did this money go, how was it used? Because we cannot see the dam. The dam is not there. So where did the money go?
The story, you know, government has got this projection that each and every amount of money that is borrowed is earmarked for a certain development. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that is the reason why uh, when they walk into a bank domestically to borrow, they tell them, hey, this money we are borrowing to pay uh, our workers, this money we are borrowing because we need this particular project to be completed in good time. And we have a
Mhm.
deficit, but we'll pay it back. Um, so our development partners, whom we need badly, I wonder when some Kenyans say that they don't need development partners, yet they cannot build a kilometer of road or construct a bridge successfully. So I don't know where they will get all this. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
yeah. So we need the development partners to come in, give us the money that we need to improve on. Even if they give us the money, they also want to make profit out of it. So
Yes,
nobody gives you money for free. They want to make profit out of it, either
yes,
through contracts by you giving them the job to do your roads, or giving them, some incentives. Yeah,
right,
either
right.
political goodwill or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
to show that hey, we have given you our money, but sasa nyinyi pia mtufanyie hivi na hivi. Mm?
Now,
So
what, what's your
mm,
take on Najib Balala? I saw he was nabbed today for some corruption deal. What's your take on him? I thought he was Ruto's man.
uh, I, I I highly doubt whether Najib Balala.
Oh, are you there, True TV? Okay, it seems like he's in a highway somewhere driving. Uh, so his network is letting him down. We shall wait for him. I was just curious to hear from him what he thinks about Najib Balala arrest today, because Najib Balala seems to be, from my understanding, he was actually uh, in good terms with the president. I'm not saying that the president is behind the arrest, because I know most Kenyans, we when somebody has when somebody has been arrested, we assume that the orders are coming from the president. But let's assume, let me play like I don't know what's going on. Let me say this. Let me Okay, DPP, EACC, DCI, all those three, whatever. I'm not quite sure how all of them work. I know one is a prosecutor, one is goes for corruption, one goes for criminal investigation, like whatever. But they're supposed to be independent bodies, okay? So if they go after someone, whether it's Najib Balala or it's whoever, okay, Matiangi, name it, they should go for that person based on the evidence they have. Okay, so if they suspect Najib Balala of stealing money, they should go after him because they've gathered enough evidence that suggests that maybe Najib Balala stole some money. Okay, it shouldn't be because Ruto told DCI or ESCC to go after Balala. I know we think about this, and I know that's what we were discussing with Mr. True TV 24 here a couple of minutes ago. Because in Kenya, if a bigwig is arrested, let's say like we were talking about the DPP, Mr. Gachagua, when he told us just when he was stripped naked at that time, we assumed that the then president Uhuru Kenyatta ordered that raid. Okay, so if we are to go by that thought process, okay, Najib Balala seemed to have been, he was cool with the president. I never had Najib Balala say anything negative about William Ruto, unless somebody can correct me on that. I've never had him say anything negative. So I don't think he's a political enemy for Ruto, Ruto's political enemy. I don't think so, unless somebody correct me, okay? So was the DCI, ESCC, whoever arrested him, was it an order from above, from Ruto, or was it just them working independently and say, hey, it was in Kenya, as we have said, if they go after big fish, there's a good reason, okay? When Sonko was being removed, I think, impeached as the governor of Nairobi, it was clear as day that Kenyatta wanted him out of there, okay? When Matiang'i was arrested a few months ago, when actually he wasn't arrested, he was summoned. He was asked to come to is it DCI? I think, yeah, DCI offices, okay, headquarters. When that happened, we assumed it was Ruto who was behind all this, okay? And that's why I posed this question. I was interested to hear his thoughts, but unfortunately he left us. But it was interesting to hear why Najib Balala, because we know there's a bunch of crooks, a lot of crooks in government, outside of government, the big wigs, if they get arrested, it's always for a reason. It's always for a reason. So what could be the reason why Najib Balala was nabbed a few days before Christmas? Was there something? Did he say something? Did he do something? Was Ruto got some intelligence that Najib Balala is maybe supporting something that he doesn't approve of? We don't know yet. I don't know. But like I said in my opening, we know the script. We know how it goes. This thing will go on, and Najib Balala will bail out post-bond and show up in court once, and this case will fizzle out, and nothing will be done. We'll forget, and we'll wait for the next Kisanga, okay? Next Kisanga. That's how it usually goes. But to me, I was shocked because Najib Balala, since the ODM days, once the ODM didn't win in 2007, I think he went, alienda chini ya maji, he decided to go to, because he was appointed, yes. I think he was appointed by Uhuru Kenyatta as, the tourist minister of tourism or something like that, So he kind of left politics, okay? Alienda ka chill kidogo, akaanza kufanya mambo yake. We never really heard of him. He was just, akapiga picha na Naomi Campbell. I guess that was the highlight of his career. So, but I'm just saying, all in all, Najib Balala, after ODM being part of the Pentagon down in 2007, along with William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, and Wetangula and Raila, after they lost, of course, alipewa cheo hapo as a minister of tourism. And after, he never really was into politics. He never made any pronouncements that might, put him in a, at odds with anyone, whether it's the opposition or the president or whatever the case is. So that's why it came as a surprise to me when I saw him arrested. Because, like I said, in Kenya, if you're a person of, if you have a name out there, don't get me wrong, Najib Balala, he might not be, as big as Raila Odinga or Kalonzo Musyoka or whatever the case is, but he's a name nevertheless. He's a big name, a huge name, especially in the coastal region. Okay, so that's why I'm saying for him to be nabbed, to be brought in for the things that he's been. I think it's 10 counts or something. 10 counts on 10. He was arrested for some 10 counts. I won't read it right now, but you can go check it out. It suggests that, you know, maybe he rubbed somebody the wrong way. He did something. That's how it plays out. You know, they just don't come get you for no reason. They come get you for a reason. Okay. Matiang'i, when he's got to say that Ruto was retaliating for those days that Matiang'i used to undermine him and disrespect him. Okay. So when he was bought, when they got Matiang'i, we understood the play. We were like, okay, Ruto is. Do you remember when Ruto said, nikiweka Biblia chini, nitangangana now. Nitangangana now. So we understood he was coming. He was coming. And Ruto started, going after the Kenyattas, asking them to pay a little bit more taxes. Okay. Speaking of the Kenyattas, today in one of the news, Kenyatta's mom, what's his name? Uhuru Kenyatta's mom, what's his name? Mama Ngina and some Greek guy who was an MP of Taita Taveta are suing the government for taking 1,000 acres away from them or something like that, claiming that they were not given the title deed. I don't know if you guys saw that. I thought that was newsworthy because every time Mangina speaks, I listen. I listen very carefully. That woman is one of the most powerful women in Kenya. Don't get me wrong. That's why you don't see her talk too much. You know, powerful people, they don't talk a lot. You know, those are the people who run things. Okay. So anyway, it came out today in the news that she, along with the former MP of Taita Taveta, some white man from, he was a Greek guy actually, they claim they're suing the government for not receiving title deeds for 1,000-acre land, hectare. Is it hectare land? Okay, that's a huge land. Okay, so they're claiming that the government did not give them that. And a lot of people are saying that in the comment section, they're saying, your son was the president for 10 years. Why didn't your son give you the title deed? So that's interesting. I don't know. But again, we all know the Kenyattas are said to, they have always been wrapped up in this land controversy about land. You know, it is said that they own land as big as Nyanza province. Okay, they're the number one. They're the richest family in Kenya. Kenya was almost kindly. What about former president called today? What about the former president? I didn't hear anything. What did the president say with Brother Benson? Brother Benson is saying to the church in Ruiru. What did the president say? I missed it. I know he opened the church somewhere. That's cathedral in respect for his dad. I don't know what exactly he said. I never watched his speech. I don't know if he gave a speech or not. I just saw the speech by what's that blogger? That's that blogger that David D called a bimbo. Something Joroge. Is it Lucy or I forgot her name? But that was two days ago. You say kindly, what about the former president today? I haven't heard anything from Kenyatta. I have to go look at that. I never had anything from I don't know what the Kenyatta said. But all in all, it looks like Uhuru Kenyatta is making a lot of noise nowadays. You know, he's capturing he's in the news. He's in the news. I don't know if he's planning something. We know that from what Aiden Duale, who presides over Getting Intelligence, I'll check on it. Yes, I'll check on it. I don't know what President Uhuru Kenyatta said. I should check on that. Yes, but like I said, Uhuru Kenyatta, he's been on the airwaves lately, and there are people saying that he's trying to bring the Mount Kenya region together. He's the so-called the king of Mount Kenya, okay, the Central Province, okay. So he wants to make a comeback in politics. And like I said before, that the next political dispensation that we are going to face, it's going to be designed. The BBI, the reggae did not stop. It took a pause, okay? It's going to be introduced through this NADCO. And guess what? I think Uhuru Kenyatta will play a role and will be part of it. I will check on this. Let me check what Brother Benson is telling me about Uhuru Kenyatta. I want to see what kind of speeches he gave. Did he say something provocative? As usual, you don't know. Let's see. I will check on it right now and see what Uhuru Kenyatta said. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta wa Kenyatta. All right. Like I said, Edin Duale said that this guy, the Kenyatta family, were funding the Mandamano, the previous Mandamano. It is said that Mandamano will be coming back soon in 2024. Let's expect that. I've been expecting it. Raila told us that the clouds are gathering. So something is happening. Uhuru Kenyatta speech today. All right. Oh, let's see. So let's listen in to what Uhuru said. I haven't listened to anything Uhuru said, so let me see what he said today. I can't see it. I don't know. Was it on MTV? In Ruiru. Was it in Ruiru like he said? Okay, let's see. Speech in Ruiru. All right, let's see. I don't see anything. That was one day ago. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at trying to see what the former President Uhuru Kenyatta said. I see some people talking in Ruiru, but it wasn't the president. It was a bunch of Kiambu leaders, I think. So I'll be curious. Let me play this. There were some guys who were saying something in Ruiru. Angry Q. Okay. It's about land grab. All right, let's play this. It's about just bear with me, guys. Sorry about that. It's about okay, let me play this. It's a bunch some people from Kiambu, I think, or somewhere. They were complaining about Ruto grabbing land. So let me go ahead and play that, and I'll react to that as soon as we see that. Okay. All right. So let's listen in, and I'll come back with some more. Let's see. These are Kiambu leaders that were speaking here. Apparently.
Walifukuza wengine kule. Serikali ilinunua mashamba ikawapatia. Si ndio? Kwa hivyo hakuna haja ya mfukuza watu ati mlete mtu. Ufukuze watu ulete mtu. Hii nchi ni ya watu au ni ya mtu? Hili ni jambo la kukera, lakini kama vile nilisema tusianze na fujo. Kwa sababu kama hakuna karatasi nimeona, hakuna mtu akuja, tumeona mitinga zimekuja wale polisi wamejaa hapo, na ni mtu sijui ni mtu na gani. Serikali inaona watu jana wanaletoa ugali na nyama ndio wanakula hapo na soda hapo. Lakini labda ni kwa sababu ni sikukuu.
Tunajua ofisi ya the National Assembly Clerk imefunguliwa. Tungetaka hiyo resolution iwe pale. Wakati bunge itaresume kutoka recess, hii petition isikizwe na isikizwe na Kenya mzima ili tuone vile tutasaidika. Lakini kama niseme hivi, kwa wale watu ambao wako na interest na hii shamba ya Gekumari, watu wa Gekumari hakuna pahali wanaenda. Mashamba ya watu wa Gekumari hakuna pahali wanaenda. Wataenda wapi? Na hii mashamba ni yao, wako na title deeds. Ule mtu anakuja hapa kuwaambia wahame, yeye ndiye chairperson wa Land Control Board.
Azimio letu ambao tumeafikiana leo ni kwamba serikali iondoke hapa, wananchi waachwe na shamba lao, na wasipoondoka tutaita watu wote wa Mount Kenya wakuje wakae hapa ili tuweze kulinda rasilimali zetu.
Mimi nimeshangaa juu baba yangu ndiye amenipatia shamba na niko na title. Sasa kusikia ati hiyo title ni fake. Sikulala hata sikuona usingizi. Ile kitu imenisumbua sana. Tuko na wazazi wako na miaka 80s. Sasa pressure yao iko juu. Nauliza serikali, tutafanya nini? Wazazi watakufa, watatuacha na nani? Juu sasa vile imeendelea, hao mama pressure iko juu, hata hawakukula, wamelala bila kukula na shamba ni zao. hawajaibia mtu, hawajakosea mtu. Hii miaka yao ya uzeeni, tafadhali serikali, wachaneni hawa mama zetu waishi na amani. Zile miaka wamebakisha, muwaachie amani, waishi wakiwa na amani.
Na hii shamba ilikuwa inaitwa Juja.
Okay. So basically what I see there is the residents of that place in Kiambu are incensed by the government grabbing land to do their, the housing levy thing, to build some houses, which the court had stopped. So I don't know why this is still going on. The government should stop this. And obviously this is ruffling feathers in Kiambu, and not only Kiambu only, but of course, it's not the central province which voted for Ruto, turning against him fast, okay? Especially when you start touching on matters land, okay? This will blow back on Ruto's face. You know, he needs to abort from this land project, this housing levy project. I don't know why he's so gung-ho on building houses in every county. This should be a county project, okay? It should be a national government, grabbing land here and building whatever. You know, of course, they go through counties and ask the county to give them, allocate them land so they can build these houses. But that's not the way to go about it. Even if we have a housing problem, you know, there was a huge debate about this housing levy, okay? Because the majority of Kenyans argued that most people build their houses in Ushago, okay? They rent in the city, but the house that you want to retire in, they build it in Ushago. So it's not a really, it's not a number one issue in Kenya, okay? And the people who are pro this housing levy thing, they're saying, you know, there's places like Ibera, which people live in squatty living conditions. We need a better housing, whatever. I see the both sides, but here is where the government is messing up, okay? You cannot just, ask the counties to allocate some land so you can build, build some housing project, okay? That's not how it works. You can't force people and tell them, here, I see you have a need. Here's some houses. Let's get some people. No. It doesn't work that way, okay? Watch out. That's why we have Mashinani. It's a devolved system, okay? The housing needs in Nairobi County is not the same housing needs in Uasin Gishu, okay? Every county has its own challenges. In Nairobi, you can argue in places like Ibera and whatever, where you might want to build a housing project to, get the people out of the slums, okay, so to speak, okay? But when you go to the place, let's say like Uasin Gishu, or maybe Kiambu, I've never been to Kiambu, I don't know how Kiambu is, but you can't just go up there and, have your point man, allocate some land, move people out of that land, saying that the government wants this land because it wants to build some housing project. That's not how you go about it, okay? Those are the people's lands. Let them have that discussion in Mashinani where they want, if they want the houses and where they would like to have it. You just don't grab land from people and say, hey, you guys need land. There's a housing problem here. So this is going to blow back on Ruto. This, in my opinion, if someone was to ask me, this is part of the scheme, okay? Of course, this housing levy, as I said, it's a very tricky, the way Hinga explained to us, it's a very tricky, it's a dicey situation because I think there's some powers, investors who are driving this through Ruto, and they might be foreign, if I'm not wrong, okay? Because the way it was explained, they told us that the government shall get land from these counties, okay? And once they allocate this land, they'll get an investor because it's a public-private partnership, okay? They find a private investor. They give him that land. They give him a discount on the tools and the equipment that they'll need for building these houses, okay? Then this private sector, they build this house, and after they build it, guess what? They name their price. They name their price, and the government buys it back from them. Okay, so someone like me, I will ask, okay, where's the risk on the private sector side? Because it seems that all they need is bring capital and build this building, and after they build it, they go back to Serikali and tell them, hey, listen, I just built some 200 units. I want 3 billion or 50 billion, okay? And the government buys it. So it's a profit for me because out of this 3 billion, I've already made the money that I spent and profit after that. But it's guaranteed that the government will buy it from me. So that's guaranteed profit for me, you know? So where's the risk on my part? And this land I was given for free by the government. And they gave me discount for these building utilities, building materials. You see what I'm saying? So the private sector is not facing, they don't have any risk on their part. It's the government which is taking risk, because now you're kicking these people in Kiambu, as you can see, okay? And after that, you are going to pay that price that private partner will name. They'll name their price and you'll pay it. And after you pay it, you are not guaranteed that these houses shall be filled, because will the people, what's the ninium? What's the assurance that you have that people will afford these houses that you're giving? Yes, you're telling us it's affordable. Affordable to who? Okay, so this private public partnership. The risk is not shared equally. The risk is more on the government side. Okay, but on the private side, it's dandy. That's why I was saying I'll be very curious to see who are these people who will be given this contract to build these houses. But the whole thing is a mess. It's a mess. As you can see, the people of Kiambu are not happy with this because the land is being taken away from them by the government, and it's causing an outrage. And like I say, Ruto, let me just say this as I sum up, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. Ruto will be very unpopular by mid next year, very unpopular, and the country pretty much will be against him. And his best bet will be to push for a referendum to create these positions for his opposition. That way, he will mitigate the hate that he receives. Because you know, as he becomes more unpopular, the opposition will become popular. The opposition doesn't have to do anything right now. They all just have to name what Ruto is doing wrong. They can go to, I wouldn't be surprised if Raila tomorrow flies in Kiambu and gives a speech there and, you know, meet up with Uhuru and give a speech how Ruto is messing up the country, okay? So by mid next year, the taxes will be higher, the economy probably will be just worse, and people will be looking at the opposition for change, okay? And what will happen is Ruto, it will be in his best interest to co-opt the opposition. And how will he co-opt the opposition? By this NADCO agreement, okay? And we know the script, you know, Raila will calm people down, his supporters, because there's a new side are the ones who are really seething with hate against Ruto. He will calm them down and tell them, hey, listen, we are in the government right now, to leave referendum, sahi tumeingia government, the way he told us with Uhuru, msijali, nimeongea na rais, hii kitu tutapoesha, tumetengeneza maneno huko, nitaongea na Ruto apeleke hizi taxes chini, na hiyo mambo ya housing awache. You know how Raila does. He'll hypnotize his supporters and the opposition. And once they merge and pass this referendum, and we have that recommendation by NADCO actualized in our constitution, Ruto shall continue as the president, Raila will continue as prime minister, and Musalia Mudavadi and Wakina Wandanyi and whoever, they shall all have this position. And I wouldn't be surprised even if Uhuru too will be in this new arrangement. And guess what? Once they legally create this framework on how they're going to rule Kenya, I'm telling you, they will rule unchallenged and no one will speak anything, just like the second just like the second term when Uhuru was president, after he co-opted Raila Odinga, Uhuru was doing everything and anything he wanted, and there was no one to speak against him, to stop him. Okay, the parliament was toothless. Everyone was toothless. Raila went numb. He never mentioned anything about police brutality, the corruption that was happening. He never said anything until Kenyatta left. This is the same play that these guys are doing. It will go on like this, and we shall go have mandamano, and then the NADCO thing will be actualized, and these guys will create this position. Constitution will be changed, wataingia kwa serikali, and we shall have the same thing. Okay, so watch out. You see, this will be actualized next year. This is prophecy from me. Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank TV24 for stopping by and saying something, giving his view. This show is always like that. I give everyone, if you want to step in and say something, you feel like I'm saying something crazy, or you have something you want to talk about, get in, we'll talk. Anyway, my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go find me on YouTube. Type my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. Okay, subscribe, share, like, comment, and all that good stuff. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, blessings, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.